Hey, young voters. Today I'm going to talk about my election predictions. So, yeah. So, this is if Biden wins. I don't think Trump is going to win the popular vote, but we'll see, I guess. So, my election prediction here is that 7 out of 10 times, and this is in the case of a Biden win, 7 out of 10 times of a Biden win, he wins over 10 million of the popular vote. And Trump tries to do his vote to drag his feet, but he's gonna lose and he's gonna get thrown out of office because I really think by 10 million you can't really there's only so much you can do to try and steal the election. If it's a difference of 10 million, that's a little bit too much of a odds to surmount. And I think probably 3 out of 10 times Biden will win by less than 10 million in the popular vote. Trump is going to be able to drag his feet, and he's going to try and stop the counting of mail-in ballots in states like Pennsylvania, where we can only start counting mail-in ballots on November 4th, which is something that the conservatives and Republicans sued for to happen. And based off of Justice Kavanaugh's decision, it is very likely that the Supreme Court, especially because now he has a conservative majority, 3 to 5, I think, with ACB as well being appointed and everything. I think Trump's going to have a lot of leverage there. And if it makes it to the Supreme Court, basically they're going to make counting mail-in ballots unconstitutional, and Trump will be able to steal the election. So this is literally in the case of a Biden win. So it does not look good. 3 out of 10 times, that's still a lot. Um, so be prepared to fight. Biden has a lot of lawyers on standby, but it's gonna take also the popular movement because Republicans right now are trying to distance themselves from Trump because they think he's gonna lose as well. And it's just like a safeguard because they think of everything. But if we can get those Republicans to continue to distance themselves from Trump, if we make them believe that they're going to lose power if they continue to support Trump while he's trying to steal the election, then they will not support him. So they're going to violate it, and if we can show them that we're not going to vote for them if they support Trump, then they might not support him, and he's going to require the full force of the Republican Senate and Republican mass media. So yeah, but I believe either way, if Trump wins or Biden wins, there's going to be a lot of murders. There's going to be a lot of violence. So be prepared for that. Just start mentally preparing yourself for some terrorist attacks, especially if Biden wins. Um, if Trump wins, there's going to be protests, and some of those protesters will be killed by right wing uh, extremist groups. And it's unfortunate to say, but that's going to be what's going to happen, I believe. And if Biden wins, innocent people are going to be killed in blue areas. We saw with them like trying to make cars crash on the highways and blocking off the highways. I mean, that's like literally just doing it for fun. So if they actually have a reason to protest, um, in their minds at least, there's a high chance that they're going to start killing people. So it's not looking good. And honestly, as far as the Senate goes, I think they're probably going to keep the House. I don't know if their numbers are going to change really. I haven't looked into that too much, but I'm hoping they do. If they get a super majority, that'd be great. If the Dems win the White House, I'd say there's a 3 out of 5 chance they win the Senate as well for sure. Um, the Senate could still stay red, but if we flip the Senate and we have the House, then that means that we can pressure Biden to fill out his campaign promises and maybe even go beyond that as leftists, because there is absolutely no excuse if they have the majority in all three branches of the government that they don't pass through everything that they promised. There's absolutely no excuse. They could really do a lot of good, and it's not like Biden wants to do that good. But if we can pressure him, then that'd be fantastic, and he would have no excuse if everything was swept. So, but if we don't win the Senate, and especially if we lose the House, Republicans will likely stick with Trump, and they will block Biden for doing anything. So they'll support Trump even if Trump gets thrown out of office. They're going to stop Biden from doing anything. They're going to say socialist, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to spend the first year or two with Biden doing absolutely nothing. His approval rating is going to fall because he's not doing anything. And the conservatives will gain the upper hand, and likely Trump will run again and win. So that would be really, really bad. So, yeah. Uh, only way basically, even if Republicans take back or keep the Senate and take back the House, is if like Trump loses in a landslide. But if they do that and Trump loses in a landslide, I find that very unlikely. So um, either way, I just want to remind everybody, it will look like Trump has won on November 3rd. Most Democrats are voting by mail, and a lot of these mail-in ballots are going to take time to count. Some of them, they're not even letting them count until well after the 3rd. So just wait, calm down, and as far as the media goes, they must not announce a winner tonight. If they do, if they go along with what Fox says, Fox is going to say Trump won, Trump's going to say he won. Uh, all the liberal media news outlets have to stand with us, the left. This is like the actual good time that having somewhat moderate support in the elites actually matters is here. They must not announce a winner, and I really hope they don't. New York Post is probably going to be the first one to announce a winner, if any of them does, because New York Post is probably the most right wing out of the main media news outlets. So, yeah, they must not announce a winner because we cannot feed into the idea that whoever wins on November 3rd is the winner. And there's no winning going on. It's just based off of the exit polls. And the people that are going to be at the polls are going to be Republican voters because most Democrat voters are going to be voting by mail, and a lot more of them have already voted. So there's no reason to go to polls. So there's no exit polls. That's so legally it should, and I should be that we count all the votes and then we determine based off of that. That's how it's always been. That's how it always should be, really. But Trump is going to do everything he can do to keep power, and he could legally change the law so that the mail-in ballots are invalid and are not counted. So if he doesn't win the lawsuits, I'd say most of the votes will probably be counted. But if he doesn't, then we have a problem. So just a reminder, when Trump wins tonight, don't freak out. He hasn't won. The counting shouldn't be over, okay? Push back against anybody who says Trump won. Don't put it on your story. It's so terrible that Trump won tonight, okay? Because he hasn't won yet. The votes are still coming in. Just wait, okay? We have till January till Biden gets sworn in anyways, so there's plenty of time, okay? Just wait and don't worry, okay? Just wait. As far as the states, my individual prediction with that, I'm hopeful that Texas will flip blue, and that's based off of the fact that there's been a ton of young voter turnout, and the Trump campaign has pulled. Well, actually, that was Florida. Never mind. But the Trump campaign hasn't paid too much attention to Texas in the past couple days. So either they abandon it or they think that it's safe. Either way, could be bad either way. If they think it's safe and they were wrong, that's a big problem. If they're abandoning it, obviously, then Texas is probably going to flip blue. But as of now, all votes that have been mailed in is equal to the sum of the amount of people who voted in 2016. So there's huge voter turnout, and whenever you get increased voter turnout, you have more people voting Democrat, because as far as the nation goes, if everybody voted, the Democrats would be in power. And there would also be a more left-leaning party, because the country is, per person, is actually much more left-leaning than either of our parties are. But I digress. So I think Texas, I'm hopeful it's going to flip blue. Pennsylvania will probably stay red by a small margin. This is just based off of my personal guess. It's not too much data. I don't know about Florida, but the Trump campaign did pull ads like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Um, I don't know why they did that, but they've been paying a lot of attention to Florida in the past couple of days. So, I mean, he just had one of his rallies there. And I think it comes down to Miami and how effective Republican voter suppression is in the minority areas. And it's likely that it is pretty effective. So I don't know about Florida. We'll see. Um, Everything else is basically pretty much decided, and most of the other states have been locked down. But yeah, so just to reiterate, anyway, Trump could basically pretty much steal the election throughout all outcomes. It becomes less likely each time, but he's going to try and do it. So, and he's been telling us he's going to try and do it. So please, please, please push back and don't say that Trump has won on November 3rd, please, for the love of God. Just wait. Tell everybody to wait. Be patient. I know it's hard, but just hold on, okay? Um, but I think Trump will probably not win. Not the popular vote. He might win the Electoral College, but I don't think there's basically any chance he's going to win the popular vote. There's been huge uptakes in amount of voters, and this mail-in voting has stopped a lot of the voter suppression that Republicans try to do so much. At least the in-person part of it. The actual mail-in voter suppression is terrible. But I think the only way he wins the election is that he suppresses enough votes, the votes don't come in, and he takes the election. If he does win the election, then we're in for a wild ride, and I'm actually going to write an article about that later, so to check that out. But yeah, I will write an article about Joe Biden, and if Trump wins or Biden wins, I would write an article about that, so look out for that. But yeah, those are my election predictions and what's going to happen around the election, after the election, stuff like that, and what are some of the consequences of that. Which states are going to go which. We'll see if I'm right. It's currently 12:24 on November 3rd. So that's just based off the maps, they look pretty good. Again, don't panic when Trump wins tonight. Again, wins, okay? Because it's based off of the exit polls, and the people doing the exit polls are the people that are voting there, and most people that are voting there are going to be Republican, especially in some swing states. I think Florida is like 70% of people who are planning to vote in person were Republican. So just chill out, okay? Don't perpetuate this myth, because he's gonna say he won, and if he says he won, and people accept it, then he will have won. So, because if the popular opinion is that I guess he won, the courts are going to be much easier to win through. So there needs to be pushback when he tries to win the election through the courts. Okay, there needs to be pushback. So do not get people to accept the fact that he won tonight. Okay? All right. Thank you for watching, and I cross my fingers. I'm already getting a little nervous, a little shaky, but I cross my fingers that we have a Biden win tonight, a sweeping Biden win. He wins the popular vote by more than 10 million, and we can finally, not even finally, because we're still beyond the edge of fascism, but we'll go back from the edge of fascism a little bit, and we can start working on bringing us back a lot. So, fingers crossed. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and just click on the plays if you want to see other videos or whatever. Subscribe if you're on the YouTube. If you're on the website, look around. There's probably more content for you to enjoy. So, thank you.